Hey everyone, you notice in our last video we didn't have a good light off. There's a lot of start attempts with a lot of fuel coming out the back. So we wanted to investigate. Um, we did an isolated igniter test.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
And as you can see, only one was igniting. So narrowed it down to the ignited lead, kind of like a spark plug lead, but carries a lot more juice. So this is I kind of started to tear it apart, and it's in a little bit of disrepair. The sheathing is not ideal. So what I'm going to try to do is repair it with spark plug wire. I started to make a little bit of a test. Here are some of the components here. I'll take it apart. If this works, I'll take it apart on I'll take the second lead apart and show you. But let's sort of see what we're working with here. So this is our fancy igniter. It's a heck of a spark. I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of that. I think it's only 2,500 volts, where I think your automotive spark plug carries 20,000 volts. So the voltage isn't that high, which to me means the amps are a bit higher. So we'll see. The actual wire, which I have over here. So the actual wire, it's hard to see. This is what was within the sheathing of this. It's a lot of insulation, but remember, this is 1960s technology. This is a spare spark plug wire I had to start a test. And you can see it is actually slightly bigger. Not a lot, but slightly. And it's newer, and it's got its own insulation. This is 8mm spark plug wire. So I bought 7mm to see if it'll fit. To see if it'll fit through some of the factory wire components here. So with that, let's see, will it fit? Will it fit? Oh, beautiful. It fits. So the way this goes together, I believe the actual core will be the same size, but this is the factory fitting that goes on the end of the igniter, and then on the other end is this guy, which I think we haven't got to this one yet. So let's start with repairing this end. I've also got a braided stainless jacket that I'm going to put over this, but we can do the one end first. Oh, does the spring fit over? Oh, 7mm. Could you imagine if this actually worked? There we go. Oh, this is a different core. So you get a performance. Ooh, this is nice and solid though. I like that. You get a performance-based spark plug wire. That's what you get. Okay, so I have a plan. Likely won't work. Why I didn't put this on first, I have no idea. This is going to be such a good fit. I like that. Okay, and that goes on. And then we'll send this through here. I'm going to say it again. Can you imagine if this actually works? So the old Polish spark plug wires, and we're stuck in there. There we go. The old, I want something to work with here. Polish wires had, basically it's like paper. It might be like a little rubber there and then a paper cover. These are much more robust. Okay, so then what we want to do is put the spring on. And then this guy, I have a plan. I think I have a plan. Once this gets through the opening here, there we go. Okay, so that's basically what happens is that slides on top, the spring goes on, and then this all comes down tight to the fitting in here, and the spring helps push this little nubbin that's going to go on the end, which is my big unknown right now. It keeps pressure on the contact inside the igniter. So what my plan is, I've already drilled a little hole in here, and that was actually to correspond with this wire here, this core. If this fits, what I want to do, I'm actually going to countersink this just a little bit, stick the wire through this way, and then solder it that way. That way the heat's not going to get to any of this. And then it's going to be a nice and tight connection there. So that's the plan. When I drilled it, it felt very soft. So I'm very confident that the solder will work. Aha, there we go. Now, as long as none of the strands are crossed, we can go all the way. Oh, shoot. Guys, I'm excited. This might actually work. I mean, I feel like I said that about the fuel video too, and it's clearly not working, so there's that. I like that. So now, I'm going to put this in the vise. I can solder that. There's actually a little bit of a groove in here as well, where I could lay it down. And that'll make enough contact for the igniter. But now, you know what, actually, I'll just put this in the vise like this, and I'll use the soldering iron so I don't torch this. Wow, you guys can't even see this. So I'll use a soldering iron because I don't want to destroy this with a torch. So let me get the soldering iron and get that set up. We got the soldering iron, I tinned it, that heated up quick. I probably have on max, but of course my knob fell off, so let's see what happens. Okay, let's see. I'm not an electronics guy, but this just might work. So they don't set this on fire. I mean, how? Can't be any worse than I've already done. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh boy. That whole thing's made of solder. Good thing I didn't put a torch on it. That could have been a disaster. I don't think that was the right word to say the whole thing's made of solder. The whole thing has a very low melting point because I just about destroyed it. But, ooh, that's, what do you know, that's hot. Just huffing this in. This is great. There we go. I like it. Okay. Now, I do need mitts. Because that's going to be hot and I don't want to burn myself. Oh, beauty. But you can see it's not straight at all. So, we've got to true that up somehow. Just a file? I do that gentle. That. We want to get this nice and tight. So So if we push down, you know what I'm going to do so I don't destroy it more than I already have? That's what I've got. My silicone spray. Help with the smooth pushing. At least that's the theory. And if I wasn't getting bogged down by the sharp inside edge there, we'd be in better shape. And I really don't want to push on my new solder joint. Oh, hey, that works. Nice and tight. Okay, let's go on a field trip here. Here's the other igniter. This is the factory end. And that's what she looks like. You can see that little end. No, you can't really see it. This camera doesn't focus super well. Up close. But anyways, that's the good one. You can see all the frays. Okay, so that spring is seated in this fitting. Okay. So now to reassemble this, so to keep this from sliding and to keep it moderately watertight, I guess, this rubber piece goes in. So that's in, I'm happy with that. Now we're only going to reassemble this right now because, I mean, this will, what we're going to end up doing, and I've got to wait until that mesh, stainless mesh cover shows up. It's either going to get sandwiched between these two guys, or I'm going to reassemble it comme ça. And if it fits around any of this, we'll either try, well, I guess we can't really solder stainless, but either just clamp it so that it makes a bond, a nice solid bond connection from one end to the other. And I think that'll have fixed our, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. All right, our braid came in. So our braid shielding, that's going to go over this, came in. I don't have all my tools over here. Stand by. Okay, so I've also realized since doing this, I say K, okay. I say that a lot, so I apologize. Okay. Let's see if this is even big enough. Oh yeah, look at that. Just okay. Did it again. Alrighty. So this is, I just say that away also is a lot as well. This is actually kind of large. Its purpose is to sleeve over this. So I was reading up that for ignition leads, the reason that they do this is for electromagnetic interference with other aircraft systems from the spark generated through here, mechanical protection, and a continuous bond. So I think that's mostly though for if there's an issue with the insulation, that the arc goes to this and not the airframe. I could be mistaken, but that sounds plausible, so I'm going to go with that. I'm also going to measure this out. Oh yeah, this is stainless. That's not going to cut very well. Just see if I can destroy these. Wow, okay, we're going to get the grinder out. Oh, grinder, where did I put it? Am I going to have fray after fray after fray, or is this going to work? Well, at least I know that this isn't cheap stuff. If I can't cut it with those side cutters. The side cutter is actually pretty good. As usual, it takes more time getting the tools and assembling it and putting it together than to actually do the job. Okay, so how this is going to work, I don't know yet, but let's fire our wire through. without destroying our new end. I feel like this is going to be a lot more challenging than I thought getting it through here. It's like a giant Chinese finger trap. Are those still a thing anymore? I remember when I was a kid. I'm probably going to end up fast forwarding all this because this is probably quite painful to watch. And I got a ways to go here. With this here. Try to. Ow! I wasn't trying to split fingers. Go away. Oh, wait, no, that's not true. Sorry. No, just kidding. What? What? That's a leaf rug. Sit here. Stand. Now, Kiwi. Straight back to the left. Where did that go? It's also nice to rose that front frame. When she shows back to the back. Hey, we're at the end now. Look at that. Woo! Okay, now. Done. Ta-da! You know, if I had this more clean, you could actually probably see what we're doing here. Let's get some of this junk out. This is going to be our next dilemma. Okay, so this, how we're going to, I was almost thinking for now, just for whatever, tighten this up and then gear clamp it, and it gives the same potential. Not an ideal finish, but I mean, it works. What I did before is a tighter fit. We might be able to. I think it went between the wire and this piece. Let's worry about that later. The next obstacle is this. This is what goes on the igniter box side. I can unscrew this guy. I should be able to slide this off eventually. Let's put that there for a second. That's aluminum. Interesting. This is all sandwiched. I'm almost thinking just cutting it here because this is still good. Using a, what's it called? Butt splice, heat shrink. Seems to be a trend with what I'm thinking. With the projects here is, I wonder if this will work. That should have been my channel name. Will this work? Who else drinks 10 cups of coffee a day? Oh, it's just me. Okay. Gotcha. Okay, so there it is again. Okay, so when I butt splice, I said, don't let me forget to put this on first. You know what? I'm going to put this on right now. Is that the right direction? Yes. So then I can slide that over after. I want to put that butt splice. I'm about one over. Okay, we also need to put our heat shrink on first before we do many other things. Is that the right size? Oh, perfect. The one size smaller, even more perfect? Oh, it is. How many layers do we want to do? Let's do 3 layers. We'll do crimping, and you know what? I should also solder it. Crimp, solder, all the things. Oh, yeah. Okay, heaven forbid do all this work and a joint fails. Okay, on 8 million degrees. We have our solder. Okay, before I do this one, that's on. Heat shrink's on. Mesh is on. Come on, everybody, what am I forgetting? Okay, here we go. Oh, that's what I'm just kidding. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. You know what, for now, I think I'm just going to gear clamp it. Gear clamp it to that. It gives the same mechanical protection. No, it's not ideal, but I also don't have 60-year-old fittings and tools to work with them. So give me some gear clamps. I'm back with more junk for the table. This guy first. this here is the igniter end, and we're going to go just like this. It's not too sharp, not going to hurt your fingies. Ow! Wow, definitely take that back. Hey, that's not the right size. So again, we're also doing this because I don't actually know if this is going to work. Ow, for crying in the mud. Comment if you know where that's from. Cool, one end down. This has to go in the igniter box before I can actually fix that. So we're going to go to the engine. I'm going to put this on and work it back to this with a new gear clamp. That's what I'm going to do. So I need this, and the igniter. I think the other igniter is somewhere. Let's go for a field trip. We need the washer. Right there. Where's the other igniters over there? No, I don't have a proper wrench for that, in case you're wondering. Okay, good. Now, I do the other side. So when we're routing this, we definitely want to keep the nice metal braided line away from our battery juncture. Oh, I got a better spot to run it here. Okay, there's no really place to set this, so let me do this and I'll get back to you. Okay, so we have the braid. It's just sort of hanging here for now. We gotta do a test. What I did in here was just run it through away from this guy, and we're just clamped it up on here for bonding. So now what I'm going to do is going to set up the igniters one on another side. I'm going to hit the test, and hopefully they both light off, because they didn't last time. Looks a million times better on this side. Are they both sparking on your side? Now that it's all fixed and working, both igniters are firing. You can clean them up, mount them back in their home, and then move on to the next item to address on this ever problematic. I shouldn't say that, it's not problematic, it's ever maintenance intensive. To be fair, this wasn't an airplane that crashed 15 years ago. It has been sitting outside. So putting this video together, I realized that I didn't film a proper outro. I would like the outro to have been the successful starting and running of the engine. Obviously that's not what you're seeing right now. So although the igniter was damaged and wasn't working, and it's now fixed, it's still having some starting issues. We've been tracking down a whole lot. There's a lot of content coming up following that, and then obviously we'll eventually end up with a solution to the problem. I've narrowed it down to a few things, but looking forward to getting that sorted, and hopefully in the next couple of days we'll be able to do another test run, test startup, and then keep you posted on that. So until next time, thanks for watching.